In the heart of the mystical village of Eldoria, shrouded by the ever-present mists of the Evernight forest, I have lived a life touched by whispers and shadows. The villagers, bound by both awe and fear, often speak of the place I call home, the Enchanted Grove. It's a sanctuary not just for me, but for all things mystical, where the trees whisper ancient secrets and the ground is carpeted with luminescent flowers that glow under the moon's tender gaze. My name is Esmeralda, and I am known to many here as the Grove Witch. While some might envision a witch as a figure of darkness, my powers are drawn from the beauty and healing arts passed down through generations long forgotten. This sacred knowledge connects me deeply to the earth, allowing me to coax blossoms from buds in the dead of winter or calm a storm with but a whisper. Yet such gifts come with their burdens. From a young age, I realized I was different. My connection to the natural world was profound, almost sacred. My beauty, they say, is ethereal, like a vision that might disappear should you look too long. But this very beauty, combined with my abilities, casts me in a light of mystery and suspicion. The villagers, though they rely on my potions and herbal remedies, regard me with a cautious respect. They dare not cross the threshold into my grove, a place alive with magic and secrets. Here, in my enchanted seclusion, I often ponder the delicate balance of my existence. Living on the edge of societal acceptance, I nurture the land that, in return, shields me from those who cannot understand the depths of my powers. At times, the loneliness can seep into my bones as cold as the mist that guards my home. Yet, I find companionship in the rustling leaves and the gentle hum of the forest, which sings a lullaby of solitude and strength. As I walk through my grove under the watchful eyes of ancient oaks, I feel the pulse of the earth beneath my feet, vibrant and alive. It's during these quiet moments that I truly understand the magnitude of my role here. The grove is not merely a refuge from the world, it is a reminder of the delicate interplay between fear and beauty, power and isolation. But despite the barriers between me and the villagers, there is a thread of unspoken understanding, a mutual necessity that binds us. They may whisper about the witch in the woods, but their lives are irrevocably intertwined with mine, through every potion that heals them and every spell that protects their harvests. As night falls and the forest canopy glitters with starlight, I retreat deeper into the heart of my grove, ready to unravel more mysteries under the cloak of darkness. Here, in my enchanted domain, every night is a story waiting to unfold, a bedtime tale of magic woven from the very essence of the mystical and the real. The day Leora arrived in Eldoria was like any other, cloaked in the habitual mist and whispered secrets of Evernight forest. But there was something different in the air, a subtle shift that made the leaves rustle with anticipation and the flowers turn their vibrant heads toward the village paths. As the Grove Witch, attuned to the subtlest whispers of nature, I sensed her arrival before I saw her, a disturbance in the familiar calm, a ripple across the still waters of my secluded life. Leora was unlike any traveler who had passed through Eldoria. Her eyes held a curiosity unmarred by fear, a sincere desire to understand the mysteries that many before her had shunned. It was clear from our first meeting that she sought more than just the healing salves or protective charms that I offered to the cautious villagers. She sought connection, understanding, perhaps even guidance in a world that seemed to parallel her own uncharted depths. As we walked through the enchanted grove, her fascination was palpable. She touched the rough bark of ancient trees with reverence, listened intently to the symphony of the forest, and breathed in the earthy aroma of moss and dew with a sigh of contentment. It was during these strolls that Leora confided in me about her life, how she had always felt different, out of step with the expectations set upon her by a world that valued conformity over individual truth. The grove, under the silver glow of the moon, became our sanctuary, a place where Leora's latent abilities began to surface. Tiny sparks of magic ignited at her fingertips, a manifestation of her burgeoning powers. Under my guidance, she learned to harness this magic, to shape it not just as a tool, but as an extension of her very soul. Her abilities were raw, but they were potent, a reflection of her inner strength and untapped potential. In the quietude of our shared solitude, I began to unveil the lore of the grove. I told her of a time long forgotten when the villagers did not fear the grove but celebrated its magic. The grove had always been a source of life, its magic potent during the phases of the moon, enhancing the beauty of the land and empowering its caretaker with heightened abilities. The ancient rites and rituals, I explained, were not just acts of magic, but of deep communion with the earth itself. As our friendship deepened, so did Leora's understanding of her place in this world. The grove, with its ancient roots and moonlit secrets, became a mirror reflecting her own journey of self-discovery. It was here, amidst the whispering trees and the serene glow of moonflowers, that Leora found the courage to explore the societal chains that had long bound her spirit and her expression. Together, we delved into the mysteries of the grove and of ourselves, each discovery a thread in the rich tapestry of our shared narrative. With each moonrise, Leora grew more confident in her powers, more attuned to the natural world, and more connected to the path she was destined to forge. In the sanctity of the grove, shielded by the very essence of magic, we both found something precious: friendship, understanding, and the shared joy of transcending the limits set by a less enchanted world. The night of the silver moon was one I had long anticipated, its rare and potent magic a time for renewal and deep magic. Yet, this particular silver moon brought with it a tension that tinged the air with a sharpness that even the misty veils of Eldoria could not soften. As the moon ascended to its zenith, bathing the world in a ghostly luminescence, the ground beneath my feet pulsed with an ancient power, forewarning of the impending storm wrought not by nature, but by man. Leora and I were deep in the heart of the enchanted grove, engaged in the delicate preparations of the night's rituals, when the murmur of distant voices reached my ears. The voices grew, carried by the wind, a tumultuous wave of anger and fear approaching my sanctuary. As the village leader, consumed by fear and envy, led a contingent of villagers towards the grove, I felt a betrayal that stung deeper than the chill of the night air. Their torches flickered like fallen stars as they encroached upon the sacred grounds, their faces etched with lines of suspicion and hostility. The grove, sensing the threat, began to stir, the earth trembling beneath our feet, the trees swaying with a sudden urgency. Leora's gaze met mine, her newfound strength mingling with apprehension. Together, we stood firm, guardians of a legacy too precious to forsake. As the villagers breached the boundary of the grove, intent on destruction, the earth reacted. Without a word, the ground erupted in a surge of protective energy. Vines sprouted rapidly, encircling the intruders, not to harm, but to halt. Flowers bloomed instantaneously, their beauty stark against the harshness of the torchlight. And then, the visions began. The air around us thickened, shimmering with the magic of the silver moon, as each villager was enveloped in a gentle whirlwind of luminescent leaves. Within these swirling veils, visions appeared, scenes of their own lives, their fears, their prejudices, and the impact of their actions. Each vision a mirror, reflecting not what they presented to the world, but what lay buried in their hearts. Overwhelmed by the truth of what they saw, the villagers' resolve faltered. Their eyes, newly opened to the depths of their own souls, turned towards me and Leora, not with anger, but with dawning understanding. Seizing this moment of vulnerability, Leora and I joined hands, our voices rising in an ancient chant that the grove seemed to whisper alongside us. The ritual we performed was one of healing and revelation, drawing on the power of the silver moon to not only protect the grove, but to bridge the chasm of misunderstanding that had long separated us from the villagers. As the ritual reached its crescendo, a wave of serene energy washed over all of us, soothing the stirred spirits of the land and those who dwelt upon it. The vines retracted gently, leaving no mark, and the visions faded, but their impact lingered, a profound transformation kindling in the eyes of each villager. The confrontation that had threatened to end in destruction instead ended in a collective epiphany. The villagers, now touched by the true magic of the grove, the magic of understanding and connection, looked upon me and Leora not as threats, but as the keepers of beauty and wisdom that Eldoria had once revered. As the moonlight softened, heralding the dawn of a new understanding, we knew that Eldoria would never be the same. A bridge had been built this night, one that promised a future where fear gave way to acceptance, and the magic of the grove was recognized as a blessing, deeply entwined with the life of the village itself. As the first light of dawn broke over Eldoria, the silver moon's magic lingered in the air like a soft, shimmering veil. The confrontation had left us all transformed, not just in the grove, but in the hearts of those who had once feared it. The villagers, now seeing me not as a figure of fear, but as a guardian of ancient wisdom, began to view the enchanted grove with new eyes. The grove, once a place of mystery and separation, became a symbol of unity and renewal. In the days following that fateful night, Eldoria began to change in ways both profound and beautiful. The villagers, their previous suspicions and prejudices washed away by the revelations they had seen, approached the grove with a newfound reverence. They no longer sought my aid solely out of necessity, but came to embrace the wisdom and magic the grove had to offer. They began to weave the enchantments and rituals into their daily lives, integrating the magic of the grove into their traditions and practices. Each morning, the village would gather in the grove to offer thanks and to seek guidance. The potions and remedies I provided were now accompanied by rituals of gratitude and understanding. The villagers, once bound by fear, now sought spiritual nourishment alongside physical healing. The grove's presence became a source of inspiration, a place where they could connect deeply with nature and with each other. Leora chose to remain in Eldoria, her decision solidified by the profound experiences we shared. With her newfound magical abilities and deepening connection to the grove, she became my apprentice, helping to bridge the gap between the village and the magical realm. Together, we worked to foster a harmonious relationship between the two worlds, teaching the villagers not only about the magic of the grove, but also about the importance of understanding and respecting the natural world. As the seasons changed, a new tradition began to take root in Eldoria, the Festival of the Silver Moon. It was a celebration of unity, of the beauty and magic that connected every soul in the village. The festival was held on the night of the silver moon, a time when the grove's magic was at its peak. The villagers, adorned in vibrant colors and adorned with moonflowers, gathered to celebrate not only the celestial event, but also the newfound harmony and acceptance among themselves. The festival was a sight to behold. Lanterns floated gently on the breeze, casting a soft glow over the grove. Music and laughter filled the air as villagers danced and celebrated, their hearts open and their spirits lifted. The night sky, illuminated by the silver moon, seemed to smile upon us all, reflecting the unity and joy that now defined our community. In the heart of the celebration, I looked around at the faces of the villagers and at Leora, who stood beside me, her eyes alight with the same wonder that had first drawn her to the grove. It was clear that the magic of the grove had transformed us all, not just as individuals, but as a community. We had embraced our true selves, our deepest desires, and the beauty within each of us. The grove had become a place of connection, where the threads of our lives were woven together in a tapestry of acceptance and celebration. As the festival drew to a close, I felt a profound sense of peace. The enchanted grove, once a place of solitude and secrecy, had become a beacon of hope and unity for all who sought its magic. And as I looked up at the silver moon, I knew that the story of Eldoria was far from over. It was a story that would continue to unfold, enriched by the light of understanding and the enduring magic of the grove.